Yeah, man, I can hear you. This is Craig Cress.
Hey, Craig.
Hey, Zoram, how are you?
Doing well. Doing well.
Good.
Thanks for having me. All right, the first link I got was for Teams. So I was sitting
Hey, Craig.
over for Teams.
Hey, Zoram, how are you?
Good. Doing well. Doing well.
Good.
Thanks for having me. All right, the first link I got was for Teams. So I was sitting
Hey, Craig.
over for Teams.
Hey, Zoram, how are you?
Good. Doing well. Doing well. Thanks for having me.
We're looping.
There we go. Sorry, that was my fault. All right. So as a reminder, we are live streaming for everybody, and this will continue. This will continue to live on our YouTube, and it will be blasted on our social media. So for today, I'm very excited that we have three special speakers with us to talk about Know Your Role. Know Your Role is a national partner of ours. So as you may have seen in your inbox when I sent out the reminder for this webinar, that there are assets in the form of social media and videos that you can share with your local associations. If you have any questions about that, or just not sure how to share them or in what capacity to share them, you are more than welcome to reach out to our marketing team, Dre McKee and Reagan Rogers, and they're more than happy to help guide you. So without further ado, I'm going to allow Know Your Role to introduce Know Your Role. So this was created by Southern Oregon, and so they have a lot of great information and insight to share on how this program got started and why, and a little bit more detail about what it entails. So I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Zoram Dean.
Awesome. Thanks so much. I'll jump right into it. Many of the viewers may already be familiar with the background of Know Your Role and a little bit of what it is, but I'll just give a brief introduction to Know Your Role and how it came about. The Southern Oregon Sports Commission started Know Your Role in an attempt to increase the number of local officials that we had for a number of different sports. We had noticed that the number of officials had declined due to an increase in poor sportsmanship and really a hostile environment surrounding youth sports. So what started as a petri dish sort of experiment, if you will, to improve the local sportsmanship and environment of youth sports here in Southern Oregon, quickly blossomed into a nationwide movement, which we now currently license with over half a dozen different licensees and different groups throughout the country. One of which, and our largest partner, is USA Softball, which we're so excited to be partnering with over the next 3 years to bring Know Your Role to all of our softball fields and all of our softball tournaments and games across the country. Essentially, what Know Your Role is it's a marketing campaign, again, that's centered around improving the culture and safety of youth sports or sports in general, as we've started to take more of a high school and adult approach as well to this problem. So again, started as a very specific petri dish sort of issue that we were trying to attack and cover here in Southern Oregon. But as we began to license out with other organizations across the country, we've taken that feedback to heart, and we began branching this out to all different kinds of sports and all different age groups to really combat this problem. So essentially what the program entails is really any sort of asset that you can imagine to help address this issue. We have radio ads available. We have TV commercials and social media posts, which are already created in the form of video and still image that can be customized with your region logo or the USA Softball National logo, and then shared out to your membership. There's also a number of written assets, including posters and flyers and banners that can be customized as well with the region or national logo, and then again, shared with your membership and posted in areas where you think they'll have the most impact. Along with the assets, each year USA Softball will receive a game plan, if you will, that will help organizations to know exactly how often to post or what the best practices are for seeing the best traction and the most change when implementing Know Your Role. We've been implementing Know Your Role since 2016 here in Southern Oregon. So we've got quite a few years of R&D already invested into the program. We've seen dramatic growth and we've moved the needle in a positive direction here in Southern Oregon across several different sports. And so again, all these assets and the game plan come from a place of we've been there, we've seen it. But again, we're not closed off to any sort of feedback that we can get. Craig Cress has been great in providing us with feedback. And he was a major advocate for us shifting and pivoting, if you will, to include the adult side of things as well. So we're always open to feedback and to improving this program in any way possible. So we communicate often with our licensees and their membership. So during this process, as you're reaching out to Dre and other members of USA Softball to receive these assets, if you're finding that some of the assets could be improved in certain ways, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We want this to be a healthy and thriving partnership over the next 3 years. We in no way, shape, or form want to just dump the assets on you and run. We definitely want to be involved in the process as much as possible because we want this program to thrive within USA Softball.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Zoram. All right. So with that being said, we think that this program, and obviously there's a reason why we became partners with Know Your Role. We think that this program is incredibly applicable for our organization and all the different dynamic people groups, because as USA Softball, you know, you've got the players, and then you've got the coaches and the parents and the umpires and local association staffs and national office staffs and our stadium. And so there's a lot of different people groups. And so the man who kind of has the holding the umbrella over all of us is Craig Cress, our CEO. So I'm going to hand it over to him, and he's going to talk about a little bit more about how this program implements into our organization overall.
Thanks, Allison. And Zoram, thank you. Obviously, I want to thank Region 9. They're the group that brought Know Your Role to us. I happened to be out in Region 9's meeting in 2022 in the Portland area in Clackamas, Oregon. President Patterson and I, and they were there to give the region a presentation on what they've done thus far. As I watched the presentations and sitting through it through the commissioners meeting and then sitting to it through their general sessions within Region 9, I saw that they were Region 9 folks were looking at this program and they felt like that this program had something to offer. And the more I looked at it, the more we had the opportunity to have discussions. And we got delayed a little bit. We were supposed to have a meeting in a couple weeks after that and they were coming to the JO workshop. And we're going to do a presentation at the JO workshop in 2022. And Mother Nature interfered with that. And so we did not have that workshop. So we got delayed a little bit, but we kept in touch and kept talking. And as I learned over time, and we weren't the only ones that were struggling with keeping umpires. The National High School Federation had a seminar, a symposium on the loss of officials. They had lost 50,000 officials in all their sports in a very, very short time frame. And so they hosted a symposium in April where I saw other materials and other ideas that were presented by a couple of other groups, but nothing nearly as refined as what I saw in Know Your Role. And it's simple, but it's also something that gets right to the point. If anyone hasn't seen the program completely and seen the letter from the daughter to the father, it's a very, very impactful letter that she has written to him. And I've seen enough games in my lifetime, whether it be an administrator or as an umpire or even as a parent in the sport of baseball, basketball, football, that I've seen real life situations where us as parents don't handle things in certain situations as well as the kids do on the field or on the diamond or whatever sport they may be participating in. So the letter was powerful to me. Just their ideas behind the way they wanted to do things was powerful. And, you put that together with our loss of umpires, unfortunately, which there's a lot of different reasons, but society has a big play in that. And because so many things have unfortunately have become acceptable in society and really are not. And you read the stories of how officials are attacked on the field. You read the stories of how players who are 12 years old or following in the footsteps of their parents and acting and just calling out officials. So I looked at it as an opportunity for us at USA Softball to get more educational material and get that powerful information out. And if we can save one or two umpires, that's great. I think the other thing that really appealed to me was the fact that it was know your role for everyone. If you're a player, play. If you're a coach, coach. If you're an official, officiate. And most importantly, if you're a parent, be a parent. Be a supportive parent to your young athletes as well as the other young athletes that are playing. So it was extremely important, and I appreciate the patience that Zoram had and as we put this deal together and with their group. And I really felt like that this year when we had them at the UIC clinic, we gave them the opportunity to address not only just the UICs that were in the room, but also the commissioners and other individuals who were in attendance at the UIC clinic, that I felt like that I saw that group embrace this as well. A lot of questions afterwards. And I know that it's probably sparked some other conversations, hopefully with other groups. I know that Sandy Searcy from the National High School Federation was in attendance. So I think it's been really good there that we have this partnership and we're in it to work together, and anything that we can do to do that is important. Starting everyone off on the right foot's a tough thing on sportsmanship. One of the things that I came out with last year that I talked to everybody about is that the way that we could help protect our integrity of the game is just to make sure that when we have championship play or league play, that we get those folks to understand the importance of good sportsmanship. I know we're fortunate in Oklahoma City at the stadium to have a little different atmosphere with our police officers and such. But just showing the support of the umpires and making sure that we have a safe path for them to leave the field and to get back to out of harm's way from any parents or anything like that. We need to take that into account when we're looking at our championships. And we probably need to delve a little bit further and figure out how we can help our leagues with those type of things, just to encourage them that it's one thing to assign umpires to a league and to have teams. But it's another thing to continue to make sure that we have the safe route for those, not only for the student athletes or for the athletes themselves, whether it be a youth or adult, but also for the fans, for the parents, and for the umpires. So I think that's extremely important. I could think back, I was fortunate when I officiated whatever line of sports it was, whether it was basketball, whether it was football, or the great game of softball that I had so many years of doing it. It wasn't always peaches and cream. There were times when there were situations. Matter of fact, I was talking with one of my friends just this past weekend about it, that high school basketball game in a sectional. Fans become unruly. Everybody's passionate about their team, and in this case, they went beyond passionate. But I felt like the protection was there, and I was never concerned about my safety. So from that standpoint, that's the environment that we need to try to work and provide for our teams and our officials. And, like I said, anything that we can do to deter one incident is a win. And I literally believe that the tools that this partnership they have put together at Know Your Role can help us in a lot of different situations. Softball is a sport where it's outdoors. It's a sport where it's isolated to a diamond, and some of those diamonds are isolated from in in an open public park. So we have a lot of different scenarios, and we all have to be able to do our best to try to protect those participants that are involved. So I want to say thank you to Zoram and his group for putting together the basics of this program, but also to continue building what this program can do for us. And I want to encourage all of our members to take advantage of those toolkit and the items that we have. Just if we, like I said, if we can prevent one thing that's negative from happening, it's a win-win situation for all of us. So Allison, as always, thanks for putting this together, and I appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you, Craig. And now that we've heard from Zoram and Craig, now our next speaker is somebody who is out in the field every day, literally weekdays, weekends. In fact, she pulled over on the side of the road so that she could talk to us on her way home from a tournament. So without further ado, Candice.
Hi, thank you guys for having me. So I've been involved in the game since I was 10. As a player, college athlete, now I coach 4 teams and event manager at USA Softball. So I've seen kind of a lot of different roles, but I also understand the importance of everyone playing their role, and how if everyone is playing that role and we're all working together, we can create really successful events and also make the game grow farther, because our kids are quitting the game because they're not having any fun. And there's a lot of pressure going on. So I just wanted to talk a little bit today about the different roles and how those can play a part in a successful event. So I actually used some of my kids, and I asked my kids, 50 of my kids, do you even know what your role is on your team? And because we talk to our kids a lot about roles and what their specific roles are in my organization, we talk to the parents. We kind of lay out a foundation on what roles are and what we expect of each parent, what we expect of each player, and what they can expect from us as coaches. And so I think that's very important in just setting that standard from the get-go, and then holding everyone accountable as well. So I asked 50 of our athletes aged 13 to 18 if they knew what their role was. 86% said yes. And then I just kind of asked, what do you feel like is the most important role for you as a player? And an overwhelming amount, to know their responsibilities, but also to have fun. We do a lot of homework assignments, and we ask the question, why do you play? And almost all of them, it's something to do with having fun, or because we want to enjoy the game, or, we want to be able to get an escape from whatever's going on in our life and just have fun and forget about life for a minute. And so I think it's really important that we look at this, and we're doing this for the players at the end of the day. And so a player's role is just to have fun, enjoy the game, learn the game, and build those relationships, build character skills, build life lessons that it's going to push them forward in their careers, in their family life, things like that. And then moving forward to the coaches, or actually, let's go to the parents. Parents' role, release the game to your kid. Let your kid enjoy the game. Sit in the stands, cheer, not only for your kid, but for all their teammates. Support the coaching staff. I think first and foremost, you want to find a team, find coaches that your kid is going to be safe with in a healthy environment. And then once you do, sit back, let your kid enjoy the game, let them learn how to fail, and let them figure things out for themselves. Another big thing we do in my program is we have captains who kind of help lead, but also we really try to talk to our kids about advocating for themselves. So instead of the parent coming and talking to the coach, we're teaching our kids leadership skills and how they can communicate more effectively with their coach. And so the parent is just out of the way and the kid is kind of speaking out for themselves, asking those hard questions. And also with the coaches, you have to be able to communicate effectively with your players to build that relationship and foster that relationship with them. I also asked them, how do they feel when they make a mistake during a game? And a lot of them feel like they let somebody down. They let their parent down, they let their coach down. And so we have to remember that they're already going through so much pressure and learning the game, making sure they're not making any errors. So why are we making it harder for them? And then I think as a coach, you know, you want to be a good teacher of the game. You want to have high knowledge of the game, be a leader, motivator, supportive, encouraging. But I think that the biggest thing for a coach is to make sure that all of your athletes feel safe, they're having fun, and that you can keep them safe. So we do a lot of bonding, a lot of homework exercises, and just getting to know our players' personalities. How can we communicate? Because I can communicate with one kid, you know, more tough, whereas another kid, I have to be a little bit softer. And so you have to really take the time to get to know your athletes, but also where did they come from? What is their life like? What are they dealing with outside of softball? And that really builds a whole nother culture in your program. And then as an event manager, I believe that, you know, it's my job to manage events that provide a good experience for our athletes, the fans, everyone involved. But the biggest thing is make sure that our kids are safe. That's physically safe. Make sure our fields are good, mentally safe, emotionally safe. We're communicating with our trainers, security at the stadium, just making sure that also our umpires and our coaches know the expectations that you as a tournament director are not going to put up with. And I think that makes a huge difference in making sure that umpires and coaches are background checked, they've done their safe sport training, and just that awareness of situational things that could occur and trying not to let those happen as best you can. So there's so much. I'm so passionate about this topic, and I think it's something that really needs to be put out there, you know, for coaches, for players, for parents, and then event managers. And I think that if everyone works together and everyone understands their role, softball can go a really long way. Youth sports could go a long way if everyone would just understand that role that they're in that time. So I appreciate everyone's time.
Thank you so much, Candice. Appreciate your time. All right, so that's it for Know Your Role. That's not it. There's a lot more that we can do and continue on doing, and sharing the social media, the videos, the assets, all that stuff. So if you're watching on YouTube and you're a coach or a district or a league administrator and you want to post stuff on your social media pages, please reach out to your local association commissioner. Commissioners, all of the assets are in your inbox so that you can share those as well. And then I'll be following up via email with all of you council members, just as a follow-up to this, as well as letting you know when our next webinar is happening in April. So with that, thank you all for joining us on a Sunday night, and hope you all have a wonderful week. Have a good one.